Today I want to take you guys along for a day in the life on my farm, doing all that I do each day with 2 young children in tow. We have quite a bit going on the farm now that April has rolled around and the farm has woken up for springtime. Every new season on the farm brings on new chores, and then every new season in motherhood, as my children get older, nap schedules change. I had to find a new rhythm on how to approach getting everything done as far as getting all the chores done, running my small farm to table or direct meat business, and then also just keeping up with this channel. So I have found that this time of year right now, I get up pretty early in the morning and try to do a little bit of computer work while my baby is still sleeping. And then once he wakes up, we come out and we do some of these chores right around the barn together. Our daily chore load is still pretty light, but it's going to pick up very soon. Soon we will be turning all of our cattle out to graze pastures. Right now we have our cattle kind of kept up because all of our pastures are just starting to grow for springtime and the grass is still really tender and it can't handle the cows being out on it. So in order to set us up for a successful grazing season this coming year, we always keep cattle off of the pastures during early spring when the grass is trying to grow. We want it to have that chance to grow. So I have a few extra chores here this morning because of that, but we do rotational grazing on our farm. So soon we'll be turning the cattle out and I will be going out every day to set up new fence, to move some waters around and make sure that our cattle have everything they need in every new paddock because we will be moving them around the farm all summer long. We also will be getting a group of meat chickens very soon. They'll be coming mid-April to raise our first batch of meat chickens. We sell this meat chicken, so we have to keep inventory all summer long. So we will do a few batches throughout the summer months for our keeping inventory. And we will also be getting some baby pigs, usually around the beginning of May. So we are going to be taking on a lot more chores here soon. And that is something that is so typical for all farmers in the growing season. So in the early spring and summer months, there's always more chores coming out of wintertime. But after a long winter and enjoying that slower pace, I am definitely ready for things to pick up for spring and summer. As you guys know, I am very focused on growing and raising nutrient-dense food for my family. That is a big priority of mine. I am also very careful about when it comes to choosing supplements and making sure that I am choosing one that is filling all the nutrient gaps while also being made with clean ingredients, which is why I want to thank the sponsor of this week's video, and that is Grüns. Grüns are a convenient and comprehensive formula packed into a tasteful gummy. Most other multivitamins include 7 to 9 vitamins, while one snack pack of Grüns includes over 20 plus vitamins and minerals and 60 ingredients that include nutrient-dense and whole foods. Grüns isn't just a multivitamins, a greens gummy, or a prebiotic. It's actually all of those things wrapped up into one snack pack a day. One snack pack a day promotes gut health, immunity, cognitive benefits, and so much more. What I like most about Grüns is I don't have to remember to take a bunch of different pills or supplements and reorder all of these things to make sure I never run out. Grüns is so much more convenient because it is just one packet a day of everything you need and perfectly formulated. Not every supplement, vitamin, or greens powder doses things effectively, but Grüns does. Grüns is methylated, which means my body is actually absorbing these nutrients, and research shows that gummies are more absorbable to your body than tablets. So there is just so many benefits to this one snack pack a day superfood. By using my link, you can try Grüns for yourself. I will link that information in the description below. Thanks so much to Grüns for sponsoring this week's video. It's also really important for horses to not be out on grass this time of year because with the grass rapidly greening up and growing, the sugar levels in it are too high for the horses and it can cause them to actually get some lameness problems. So I have my horses kept up right now also, but once the grass starts to level out in the summertime, they will be able to go back out and enjoy grazing green pastures as well. Today is a pretty typical day here on our farm for early April. Most of my day is structured around having the kids and kind of working in between the flows of their daily schedule. Getting outside is really important to me, so we have been enjoying the nice spring weather and getting outside as much as possible. This time of year when the time changes and we have longer daylight hours, we are always much later in the evening before we can get inside, have dinner, bath time, and bedtime. So because of that, my kids sleep in a little later than most kids, I would say. That works out because that gives me some more time in the morning while they're sleeping to work on a few things. And then we can get outside, do these chores, and the baby still takes a morning nap. So while he is napping, me and my daughter usually make our own breakfast, or I'll do some dinner prep or spend a little time inside just doing whatever household tasks that need to be done. You can always tell when it changes from winter to spring and the daylight hours get longer because the chickens just start laying so many eggs, and their eggs this time of year are just so beautiful with rich dark yellow yolks because of all the free ranging that they do in the green grass. I have been focusing a lot of my breakfast recipes around this, and this morning me and my daughter are going to make some crepes. We also have a lot of extra milk from our milk pickup, and all the milk we've been getting has so much cream on top because all of the cows recently had calves, so they refreshened, and the milk is just so much richer in the early spring. So this morning I thought it would also be fun to make some homemade whipped cream to go on top of our crepes. During this morning nap time for my son, I always try to just do some housework, or make a nice breakfast like this, spend time with my daughter. I don't like to be on my computer when she's awake. I try to avoid that, but sometimes it's hard when you're running a small business. You really have to work in nook and crannies of the day. So of course, sometimes I get behind and I have some emails I need to answer during this time, but for the most part, I try to keep that part of my work very light and just use this morning time, usually from about 9 to 11, to do a little bit of housework and just enjoy hanging out with my daughter. After morning nap time is when I try to get outside and do any other farm work or knock off some things on my to-do list that are outside. Right now, we have cows having babies for the springtime. So one of the things we do almost every afternoon is go out and check on the new babies, look at the mama cows, and make sure everybody is doing good. And actually today on our drive, I kept coming up one cow short. So I thought for sure we would have another baby being born. But once I finally found that cow, I realized she was just in the woods kind of by herself. I don't know what she was doing, but she has absolutely no signs of having a baby or even looking like she's close. So that took us a little bit longer today, but when the weather is nice like this, I can usually incorporate some playtime while also doing farm work. This is the block in my day where we will pretty much spend the entire afternoon outside. We won't come in until lunchtime and afternoon nap time. How I spend this afternoon nap time always looks a little different just depending on what all we have going on. Today I decided to prep some dinner. So we had some onions and peppers in the refrigerator that needed to be used up. We also had a jar of bone broth that I needed to use. It was on the last stretch of time left in the refrigerator. I decided to prep a chicken and rice casserole. The reason I decided to get it all together is because tonight me and my husband have to sort off cattle to go to processing. So I knew tonight would be a late night and I wanted something that I could just throw in the oven and it would be ready for us whenever we got back inside. This is how a lot of spring and summertime dinners go for me. Usually me and my husband, when he gets home from work, we have a to-do list to accomplish yet that evening, and dinner just has to sort of be done and something I can just have baking in the oven or something we can come back to and re-warm up and eat later. Meal times this time of year always shift later in the evening, and the recipes I make or the meals that I cook are much simpler. I am always doing either a make-ahead casserole or something like this. I generally try to focus on ones that I can throw a lot of fresh vegetables in from the garden, or we just do meat on the smoker and roasted vegetables in the oven. On our farm, we remain profitable by selling our beef that we raise direct to consumers. Every spring, we have a group of animals that are ready for harvest. There are a few things we're looking at to determine if they are ready for harvest. So we bring the whole group in and kind of sort through them. We take a really close look at them. We try to keep this as stress-free as possible. So anytime you bring cattle into a different pen, they always get really excited. So we kind of just let them run all around, explore the new pen. And while they're doing that, we're looking at each one of them and determining which one's ready for harvest. It is really important that we choose the ones that look the most ready, because that honors the animal the most. And when they have met their full potential, they have truly served their God-intended purpose here on earth. They were born to feed people, born to be nutrient-dense food for our customers, so we raise them with that end purpose in mind. I get a lot of questions about if we get attached to these animals and if this makes me sad, or people who truly just don't understand the process can't believe that we would ever butcher our animals. But if you're someone who eats meat, then you know why it is necessary to harvest these animals. And if you're like myself, eating meat that has been humanely raised their entire life is of utmost importance. I hope you enjoyed following along for what a real day in the life looks like here on our farm in early April. I look forward to sharing more with you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching.